obviously, I think they'd rather move Porzingis because Jrue just still has value, but it also depends on value you're going to get in return. What are you going to get back for Porzingis? Are you going to get back some second round picks? Do you want to give him away like that? What is it that you're going to have to do and to move on and have a team take on a $30 million salary, right? Are you going to take back a $10 million salary? That would be the optimal thing. Hey, we'll give you our mid-level guy at $12 million. We'll take Porzingis off your hands. But a team might say, well, if we're going to do that for you, Boston, we ain't doing you no favors. We need a first round pick. Mm-hmm. What's up? We'll get done what you need to get. You don't think other teams know the Celtics need to get on the apron? So the Celtics are not a great negotiating spot right now. So teams are going to be like, yeah, we'll take Kristaps. We'll give you our mid-level guy. He's a little younger, can help you next year, but we need that 2027 first rounder. So, and remember, if the Celtics are going to struggle a bit next year, their 2026 first rounder becomes more valuable because they're probably not going to be as good. It might be an 18th, 19th pick. It might be a pick in the middle of the first round. That's a more valuable pick than 28, which is what they have this year. So that 2026 first round pick becomes valuable to teams who know the Celtics are going to take a step back. So to me, the Porzingis thing would be more optimal for them, but it might be more difficult because they might have to give up something in terms of a one-for-one deal and then a draft pick. Because remember, they can't give another player to sweeten the deal. If a player, if they want Porzingis, they can't. It's all another team can take is Porzingis. They can't say give us J.D. Davidson or give us, we like Kata. Give us him too. No, it's going to be one for whatever. Yeah. So to me, Porzingis is the most optimal for them, but it might be the more difficult because he has less trade value.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see a scenario where anyone is going to take Porzingis and not expect/demand a draft pick or picks in return. I just don't see it. If we're talking about Kristaps Porzingis at the end of not this past season, but the previous season when they won a title, that's a different story. If you're looking to move him then, but the Porzingis that folks have now, because again, people, we find ourselves just hostage to the moment, and the moment that we remember most about Kristaps Porzingis is what we just saw in the playoffs, and that was not pretty at all. And so you're not going to be willing to either give a whole lot or take less back than you normally would because of, again, where he's at. So you're going to ask for more than you probably should. The one GM I just can't see them even having any conversation with is Danny Ainge, because Danny going to ask for like 5 picks. Which I respect the hell out of Danny for that, because Danny, that's just how he operates, and again, he's consistent with that. So it's going to be difficult for them to move Porzingis anytime before the trade deadline. As far as Jrue Holiday is concerned, I would probably look to move Jrue sooner rather than later, only because I just don't think the market is going to get all that much ripe for him. I think what you do is you find a deal that makes sense to you, that doesn't significantly impact you going forward, i.e. doesn't involve draft picks, and you just go with that. Get you a decent player in return or players in return, and then just keep it moving. Because Jrue, to me, is the one piece that you have that can get you significant value in return and allow you to just not have that gap between where you have been the last couple of years and where you're going to be next year to be as wide as possible. You want to minimize that space as much as possible if you're the Boston Celtics, because again, you've had a great run here where you've been among the top teams in the NBA for a few years now, and your window isn't necessarily closed, because if we're being honest and transparent, the West is loading up with ballers. I mean, they've got the last 2 top picks. They've got clearly a much deeper, much more difficult road to navigate if you're going to come out the West. And so the Celtics, even though they may be taking a step back, it's not like they're going to fall off the map. They're still going to be one of those teams that under certain circumstances, they could be right in the mix of being one of those top 3, top 4 teams in the East. they probably shouldn't be that way. But again, I think the East is going to be that wide open where they're going to have that opportunity. And one of the challenges that Brad Stevens is going to have is figuring out which pieces to add, which pieces to subtract, and figure out how to bring it all together and keep this team competitive until Tatum gets back, end of this season or the start of next year.